Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back with another match of the DUBAI Sevens. This one's an important one for France and Samoa. The winner of this advances through to the fifth place playoff game that will be taking place a little bit later on tonight. The loser, they will be facing off in the seventh place playoff game. But both sides missing out in their last matchups. We currently see a game between Australia and Argentina, with the Australians 15 points to 14 up with only a little bit of time left on the clock now. But looking at the Samoan starting lineup, it is the exact same as what they went with in their quarterfinal game up against the South Africans, which they were defeated 24 points to 19. Looking at it, Va'a Pilomaleko, Yunasioni, Valvasa Afasun, Paul Eti Slater, Paul Scanlon, Steve Onisai, and Aonui as the last man in the starting lineup. Then for France, they were beaten by New Zealand 20 points to 0. Wasn't even close in their quarterfinal, and they want to redeem themselves now, and that is exactly what they plan to do. Legiel, Hayard brought into the starting lineup. Dorian also added in there. Araguha, Pesquet, Forna, and Carroll. I believe almost a completely changed starting lineup for France in terms of the amount of changes they could have made. They have, which is an interesting one. Having Steven Perez, Simon, also Rebage, Damon, and Lee all coming off the bench, either underestimating Samoa or maybe throwing this game away to an extent for France. I think they're disappointed not to have gone further in the competition for Amalosi Toa Samoa, Toa France from Mako Vanapola there. Welcome in. I hope you are doing very well. The game straight after this one, it is going to be Ireland taking on the USA, and then the match after that, the other semi-final, that will be South Africa versus New Zealand. But do let me know your score for this game, ladies and gentlemen. It is only a couple minutes away from starting. Does seem like they're running a little bit later with these contests than they would have liked, but that is because Australia versus Argentina, 6 points difference with 1 minute 10 left on the clock. The Australians down by that 6, like I mentioned. But I think key players for Samoa in this game, Yunasioni, I love the fact that he's back in the starting lineup. They did bring him into that starting lineup for the last match up against the South Africans, I should say. Sorry, I'm just watching this game out of the corner of my eye as well. The Australians look to steal another game right at the end of it. They've done it many times over and over again, and it looks like it is going to be the try for Australia. No, it's slapped down. So Argentina's still going to have it, but I was saying about Yunasioni, sorry, that was very distracting. Argentina now on the attack. Yunasioni, having him in the starting lineup just adds so much more to the Samoan side. To be honest, with Malani Matavao out, this is the lineup I can see them using in the future with Onisai, Paul Scanlon, Paul Iti Slater, and also Maliko and Afasua, the two captains working together well. It's going to be Fraga now scoring that last-minute try for Argentina, so they will win their game up against the Australians. And the reason that that is so relevant is the winner of this game now has to go on to face off against the Argentinians. The loser of this game will face off against Australia. So we could see some pretty exciting games for fifth and seventh playoff. Looking through the bench of the Samoans, it's Tuna Tuitama. He did have quite the impact in his first matchup of the Sevens when they did end up playing up against Japan. Levi Milford there as well. Falaneko, Letufea, and Motu Opitai, the last man off that the Samoan bench. Argentina very happy about winning that game. I believe the next game was initially going to be scheduled for, I can't actually remember what time, but I believe it was just after 11:20. I want to say that next match was going to be. So perhaps with this game running a little bit longer, they may end up having to change that just a little bit. And also we've got there France and there from Gareth Ferguson. Do let me know, Gareth, as well, with South Africa versus New Zealand just around the corner. What is your score prediction for those two sides? And they do end up going head-to-head, but Samoa and France now making their way out onto the park 3 minutes later than their first initial scheduled kickoff. And Australia and Argentina are actually still out there on the park, but the Samoans, they are wearing their away kit in the white. I believe that is kind of tradition of the team who finished lower as the one does end up wearing the away kit. But France and Samoa, this was actually the bronze medal final we saw taking place at the Hong Kong Sevens. In that game, France were victorious. Samoa, though, I think they'll be annoyed. They've lost the last 2 games in a row. they want to try and right those wrongs when does New Zealand play. They will be playing at 11:50 p.m. New Zealand time. So not too far away, or somewhere around there anyway. That's the time that we are starting the stream. It will be relatively close to that time. It's South Africa 26-19 for New Zealand, says Gareth. I enjoy that scoreline. I don't think the Kiwis would enjoy if that was the end result, but I think it's going to be a close game between them. It's been some time since we've seen New Zealand play South Africa, if I'm not wrong. They normally don't end up matching up too well. I want to say the last time they played was actually as a ninth place playoff game in about 4 or so 7 legs ago, but that is going to be now up high, kicked off by France, nicely taken by Paul Scanlon for the Samoans here. Going short side, straight away, the space is opening up. They're going to have to catch Owen Nui down the wing. It's going to be tough, though. He's going to charge. He might just get there. Yes, he does. 15 seconds in, Samoa score. You have to say that it's maybe built up frustration from their last 2 fixtures, but Owen Nui scoring his 3rd try of the DUBAI Sevens. Just sprints down the wing. It was 1 tackle made by France off the kickoff, holding it in one hand. A decent chase in the end from Thomas Cattle, but he was never catching that man Owen Nui when he started getting going. Okay, from the touchline, going to be just away to the right-hand side. Didn't have the distance either, so the score will remain 5-0 now in favour of Samoa. But we have seen some extremely quick tries throughout the DUBAI Sevens. I believe the quickest still goes to Fiji. In fact, sorry, it would be actually Ireland who had the quickest try, I believe. An 8-second one scored up against Uganda off their own kickoff. So very impressive from the Irish there. That one was pretty speedy too, though. For the Samoans, the 17th try. Carol takes it nicely. And now it's like he's going to get some leg drive going. Just a few extra meters maybe. Pinomaleko makes the tackle on him now around the side. Going to be Dorian. Finds the offload now. This is going to be handy. And I've just realized that Grandidier is nowhere to be seen. Pasquet, though, has got the try down the wing for France. This is going to be a seesaw battle between these two sides by the looks of it. But yeah, no sign of Grandidier. So I wonder whether or not that is something to do with an injury, or maybe they have just decided to rest him for this contest, have him come back in the next game. So I believe actually Legiel and Pasquet, the only 2 who have kept their spots in the starting lineup. Every other player came off the bench in the last match. And also we get the AM, imagine being a Sharks supporter, says Gareth. And there as well. Oh, that reminds me, the URC, not too far away from kicking off. I believe the Stormers are going to be playing at 1 a.m. They are playing up against the Scarlets. And then also the Bulls, they are going to be playing up against Cardiff a little bit later on. Both of those games actually overlap with things that we are doing, sadly, so we won't be able to cover either of them. But we're back into the URC next week. Yeah, the Sharks, wall flipped on his head almost there for Paul Scanlon. The seesaw of the URC seems to also be something that's happening at the moment. How some teams are going very good, other teams are going badly, and it just seems to be going like this at the moment. So maybe the Sharks will find their form in the near future, but maybe not. Who knows? They got rid of their coach, though, didn't they? So maybe that might make it a little bit more tricky. Nice ball on the outside there from, it was Fauna, inside ball. In fact, it's going to be the number 40 there, Dorian, who scores the try. France get themselves another. He's looking puffed at the moment, the big man, Dorian Laborde. I feel like I butchered that name. Just run on the outside, sold the dummy, went out to Legiel, who saw him on the inside after Scanlon had been drawn wide. And just a simple draw and pass from the French, able to score themselves another try in this contest. So they are on a bit of a tear at the moment. They want to face Argentina. Would be the matchup that they have if they are able to go on and win this. I should also mention that the loser of this game faces Australia, and I'm quickly going to see what time that matchup takes place, but I believe it would be relatively soon, maybe around 3 a.m. or somewhere around there. Going to be kicked off high. Lining this one up. Now he has been able to take it, trying to rip it out of his hands. Legiel getting a bit fancy with it, but playing the man in the air actually counts as the penalty. Unisione now wasn't back 10 there for Legiel. That's slightly cynical. Luckily for him, it was inside of the Samoan half, so it doesn't result and a card being shown, but currently 12 points to 5 the moment in this game. Running hard, Steve Onisai inside border Va'a, Apilo Malika going around the outside of Iraguha. Let's go through another offload from Samoa, something to be expected from this side as those quick hands and elusive skills now. Scanlon with the big fend. Once again, Carol is going to find himself losing a foot race. Scanlon slammed himself down on the turf there. He's already got a bit of strapping above the eyebrow. Now he's taking the headgear off as well so he can take this kick, but what a try for Paul Scanlon, and the Samoans now back into this matchup again. So, in fact, I should say, these two sides, whoever loses doesn't actually play again. The loser of this matchup, they will be playing, or the winner of this matchup, I should say, they will be playing at 1:54 a.m. New Zealand time. Third place playoff game will be at 3:07 a.m. and then the final will be at 4:26. So both sides need this win if they don't want this to be their last game of the Sevens that they do end up playing. Puts a little bit more pressure on both of the teams. There we go. But they know that they are facing Argentina in the playoff game, so Australia will not have another matchup. I got that slightly wrong. My apologies there. It's going to be tapped back almost by Samoa, by Ava'a Pelomaliko, who's looking for the strip. Now called as a tackle. Samoa, they will be looking to get this ball back as soon as possible, but Iraguha now goes to the ball on the outside. They can run a little bit of an offload. Ball going to be bouncing up awkwardly. He's done well to be able to pick it up, though. The French number 20, or in fact, he's the French number 40, Dorian. Now going through here. Come on, France, once again. Getting close to the line. And Unasioni not able to stop him. And that will be another try to the French. This one's just a seesaw. One try, then another for the other side, then another for the side who scored the original. Fauna scores this one. Unasioni was going to be able to catch him there in the foot race, but just digs in the heels just a bit more, pushes hard, and is able to make his way over the try line. I should mention for anyone following along with the cricket, Pakistan at the moment sitting 411 for 3. Looks like a very good batting surface, as we have learned throughout the rest of the test match. And then also, for anyone curious about the matchup taking place between the West Indies and Australia, Day 5 will be starting tomorrow. At the moment, West Indies 192 for 3. So they have 7 wickets in hand. They'll be looking to try and push for the draw. Current score in this game, 19 points to 10. And I should mention it can't be a draw in this one of the Rugby 7. Someone's got to win. Someone's got to lose. And that ball's gone into touch. And that will be halftime. Shout out to my dad, Uber, as I says in that index. Yeah, shout out to your dad. He's enjoying the Sevens action as well. But these two sides, like I mentioned, they played off in the bronze medal final with the Hong Kong Sevens, so they know each other relatively well. They're quite a new-look French side in that starting lineup, perhaps really trying to empty their bench and have a lot of power coming out there, whether that's Stephen Perez, Simon, Rebage, Domon, and also Le Joseph is the last man who they can replace. Samoa, Tuitama, Milford, Falaneko, Letufia, and then also Motu Opitai. But we've seen more passes completed from the French tries and the visits to opposition 22. Every time a side has visited an opposition 22, they have scored. That's something that both sides will look to do in that second half as well. I would think we haven't seen a single offload from the Samoans in that first half. And also, we get there go Samoa, do a Dius here. They're going to need 2 quick tries in the second half if they want a chance of having another match in the DUBAI Sevens. It would be a shame to see them miss out and please Samoa win, says Rose the Unicorn. So, yeah, if they win this game, they will be going through to face off against Argentina. And that game will be at about, I just looked at it, but it was 157 or 137. I know it was something 7. It is 154, so it wasn't a 7 at all. But 1:54 a.m. would be when the winner of this game ends up playing up against the winner of the other game, which is Argentina. So we could see maybe France, Argentina, Samoa, Argentina. Either way, that would be a great game to watch. Taking place at 1:54. And then, like I mentioned, the 3rd and 4th place playoff going to be taking place at 3:07 a.m. That's where the 7 came from. And 4:26 is the final. And thanks, brother, for the best live commentary, says Index. No worries at all. And we are going to be back for the final and also the 2 semi-finals that are coming up just around the corner with Ireland versus USA and New Zealand versus South Africa, but it's kicked off high now from Paul Scanlon, looking to retain that one. Pilomaleko unable to get his hands on it, but Uruguha cleans up well. It's almost the opportunity for Samoa. That's almost a turnover in the breakdown also. On the inside of their own 22, France steam through, and it's going to be a bit of a foot race here. Scanlon has to try and stop him for Hoyard. He finds the flick at the back, and that is some French flair there from Le Bleu, and that will be the try for France. Now Samoa are really up against the wall, and France wins theirs, Rose the Unicorn. And what's this for? 9th place. So pretty much the winner of this game goes through to playoff for 5th and 6th place. So the winner of it, the moment it looks like it could be France, they would go through to face Argentina in the 5th place playoff game. The loser of this game does not have any more matches of their Sevens campaign. Just looking through, Fiji, they were able to get themselves the win over Kenya, which is very impressive. So that will be the 9th place playoff game that's taking place at 1:46 a.m., but they aren't showing it on TV here, so we can't actually do the commentary of that match, unfortunately. That kick has missed the way to the side for France. That is fortunate for for Samoa, as now they will find themselves only 2 converted tries down. If they lose, they verse Australia, although I did learn that they actually don't. They don't have an 8th place playoff, sadly, which does mean we don't get to see them in action once again. Now kicked up high, nicely taken by Scanlon, wrestled down by Legiel. They've got 5.5 minutes left on the clock. We know they can score quick succession tries. And straight up the middle now, Paul Scanlon going to be testing out his speed. Looking for the corner, fending off one. Giving it off to Pilomaleko, who's bumping off another. Still driving. Offload there for Samoa. Paul Slater tries to go through, but great tackle made on him by France. Iragua asking for a penalty in through the side was his comment, but I don't think the referee is going to give him one for that. Now, Yunasione goes through. Samoa score, and they now get themselves just a little bit back into the match. I think it can happen in 3 minutes exactly right, and they've still got 4.5 on the clock. And New Zealand men's and New Zealand women's will win it all. And Samoa tend to slack when it's after the cup final stages. Man says Loki, although they did say the last 5 times, I believe Samoa have made their way through to those semi-final playoff games. So it will be a bit of a disappointing for them, or disappointing finish for them here. They are only playing off for 5th, but they still take 5th well and truly. Gets you some decent points on the World Sevens circuit. Their kick is successful. So the 7 points now difference between Samoa and France. We see the Blitzboks just warming up in the background. Branco de Prea, the player who I saw just then, will be going up against New Zealand in less than an hour. The next game supposed to be kicking off at 11:15. Might end up being a little bit of a close one. They won't get as much build-up in there as they were hoping to have. France in position at the moment. Iriguha. Now Legiel tries to pierce his way through, had his pants pulled down, but luckily he's wearing boxers. Going off to the right-hand side. Seems like France currently, they've been more willing to offload that ball. Pasquet, another offload. Goes straight into the hands of Thomas Carroll. Going backwards. Good work from Samoa. No. Okay, they said a player. What was that penalty for? Player in the side of the ruck, I think the call is there from the referee. That was an interesting one. Is this the last stage of this year? Says Loki. Not quite. There is Cape Town next weekend, and we will be covering it on the channel as well. So anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But yeah, Cape Town next week. Then I believe after that, it's about 49 days, or actually, sorry, about 45 days from now is the leg after Cape Town, and that will be Hamilton here in New Zealand. So a decent time zone for myself, which will be a lot of fun to be able to commentate while the sun is out. Or at least it's supposed to be out. It's probably going to be raining throughout most of the Hamilton Sevens. Another big run from France here. 3 minutes left on the clock. Trying to find their way through to that 5th place playoff game. Brilliant work in the breakdown by Paul Scanlon. Takes the tap quickly. Now fires it wide. They've still got the skill and the determination here for the Samoans. That's a rough pass from Valvasa Alfasur, though. Milford gets a bit of friendly fire. Driven backwards. France steal the ball in the breakdown. And now Legiel goes one more on the outside. Pasquet tries to go through. He's got pace as well. Pilomaleko. Last-ditch tackle. Carroll, in fact, spinning. So, that's the ball. That's a knock-on the ground, and it's a penalty going the way of the Manu Samoans. Hit him, says Index there. Right, 2 minutes 30 left. They're making a substitution. I'm thinking back to that game that we saw not too long ago, the quarterfinal, Samoa taking on the South Africans. They made that mistake 15 meters out here, but they were 5 out, and they decided to go for the quick tap rather than kicking for touch. It looks like now they've learned from their mistakes. They're going to be kicking this one into touch. And that will get them a bit further down the field. Going for distance here. He's gone extremely long, but it's not. Oh, it has found touch. Perez has had that one bounce over his head. Brilliant kick in a way. Paul Letty Slater. In fact, it was Paul Scanlon, but you'd have to say a lot of luck involved in that one. Oh, no. There's Loki. Right line out here for Letufia. Yeah, too much rushing sometimes. There's Loki. Yeah, sometimes it's just about slowing it down, knowing that you've got the capable players to be able to get the job done, and just trusting your set piece. Of course, it's a big part of the Sevens game. That's a big shot there from France. The ball's gone backwards. They've sent. Now Letufia has to fight for a penalty, goes the way of France. And now with 2 minutes left, we will see that probably well and truly in effect here. France are going to take their time, put the ball into touch, and just allow that clock to wind down a little bit more. Or do they? No, Perez. Fair play to France. They've decided to go for the tap. They weren't too deep inside of their 22, so it wasn't a huge risk. But now this is starting to get a little bit risky. That was close to a forward pass. Oh, big fin there from the big man at number 96, Thierry Simon. But it's going to be a knock-on from France. Scrum feed for the Samoans. Now, something they're brilliant at is pushing upwards in those scrums, getting a big old shove. That's power from Simon. His thighs probably weigh more than me for Simon there. And also, come on, we got this, says Index. And I should mention once again, if this game ends up being a draw, we go to golden point time till we see someone win. Samoa at the moment, they need a converted try to be able to get it towards that direction. 50 seconds there, little fair. Flicks it back to Paul Scanlon. One more pass on the outside. Running it sideways. Tui Tama almost getting through that tackle, but nice work from the French defence. They have been solid in this game. Credit where credit's due. They haven't allowed many gaps to open up for the Samoan attack. Now that's a forward pass. They're going to have to go back for that one, unfortunately, for Samoa. And now 30 seconds left on the clock. France have got themselves a scrum feed on the halfway. By the time the scrum goes in, I believe France will look to kick this ball out, and it would end up being the end of the game. But that was a forward pass, unfortunately, for the Samoans. 17 seconds left, and the time has been turned off just for now. And also got us with us. There's Index. And as I like they're saying, it's going to be extremely tough to even this one out. The best thing that Samoa can have here is a free kick at scrum time. 10 seconds left. Big push. Perez goes back across now. Looks like France are still going to have a bit more of an attack. Pasquet goes risky. Tries to go up the middle of the field. Now France fire it back. Kick it into touch. And now they have been able to win this game up against the Samoans, who now have finished their DUBAI Sevens campaign. They will finish in 8th place. The worst thing is, well, the good count is 7th, but 7th and 8th. Both, I guess, up for debate between Samoa and Australia. And the end, France just a little bit too strong. They will go on now to face off against Argentina in that game happening at 1:54. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be back for the next live stream, the semi-final between Ireland and the USA. It is just around the corner. They need Mataval back, says Richard Ioane. Yeah, they just seemed a little bit lost without Malani Mataval in that lineup, unfortunately. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all in about 1 minute's time for our next live stream between Ireland and the USA.